9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet.
Happy Friday, ladies and gentlemen. This is your timeless elite, your PR princess, Stone Cold Courtney, whatever you want to call me, with you on a Friday night, or should I say Wrestlepalooza and All Out Eve, because tomorrow there are 2 big PLEs happening this weekend. One of them, of course, is going to be on ESPN, and the other one's going to be streaming on HBO Max. But there is a lot that happened right before we get into bold predictions. Obviously, of course, we wrapped up SmackDown. We also have CMLL happening right now over in Mexico. But with this chunk of news, I am not alone. And it looks like tonight it will be a special ladies' night edition, because I'm always happy to see my sister of WWT. I always love having her with me. She is your sweetest oos, Miss Honey, in the building.
Yes, ma'am. Oh, yes, this ladies' night. And it's Friday night. Let's do it. I'm ready. Sweetest Oos is here, guys. You guys have me pretty much all week. I'm loving this. I'm back up in this thing full time. SmackDown was pretty crazy. Can't wait to get into all the shenanigans that ensued. And let's do it.
Yeah, let's just get right into it, and shout out to our producer from the future, Dylan, joining us because it's Friday night. But before we get into SmackDown, before we get into bold predictions, we do have a milestone we get to celebrate with the ladies, and it happens to be none other than Miss Saraya, because she gets to celebrate 7 years of sobriety. She posted this on her socials, and it's such a good treat to have her on this journey. Honey, I just want to get your quick thoughts on this, because we just love seeing warm stories like this.
Absolutely. Congratulations to Miss Saraya, also formerly known as Paige, for 7 years of sobriety. That is a major milestone, especially for given the history of being in recovery. Have knowing people in life that have gone through things like that. You got to understand that these superstars are also people too that have gone through some struggles, and we've literally seen her grow up into the woman that she is today. She has gone through so much and persevered through so much. So this is awesome to hear, and it's very, very positive. And I'm always down to hear something like that go down. And glad to see, because she made a post on social media that I did see pop up on my feed, and the picture of her, when she was younger compared to now, she's absolutely blossomed, and she looks fantastic. She's doing fantastic, and I'm just happy for her, and that's really awesome.
It's always the most important thing when we see wrestlers on this warm side of the news, and I'm very happy that a lot of them are being open about some of the issues that are happening. And I'm happy not just the sobriety road, but the drug and alcohol, but the mental health is now starting to be open a lot more, because back then there was not that much of an area to be vulnerable. Yes. And it made me a little heartbroken when I hear some of these stories. It just really is hard when you don't have like somebody that you can relate to in that spot. But I was very happy Saraya was very open. Obviously, you and I know she does have a community within the wrestling world. A lot of females in the division love her, respect her, still friends with her to this day. So this makes me really happy. And just want to send congratulations to her on this journey, and just continue the good fight, sister.
Indeed. Congratulations again to Saraya. Like, it speaks for itself. The journey speaks for itself.
It does. And she's not the only one that gets to celebrate a milestone. We do want to send a shout out to Nick Khan, because he was listed on Sports Illustrated 50 most influential sports figures in 2025, courtesy of Sports Illustrated. They released this out today, where they go with the most influential sports executives, influencers, athletes, which also includes Jaden Daniels from the Washington Commanders on that list. So it's a big list. And for him to be in the big leagues in Sports Illustrated, that is huge.
Indeed. Absolutely. Congratulations to Nick Khan on this milestone. Obviously, he has had a major impact, with WWE ever since, being on the forefront of the charge and leading the pack into the business realm and the deal with TKO and things like that and the merger. It's definitely a new era. I don't know Nick Khan personally, but, being at Fanatics a couple years ago at Javits Center, I ended up just walking literally right next to him, kind enough to take a selfie. I was kind enough to ask, he had other people like coming up to him and things like that. He had security. He was with his family and didn't want to be overindulgent on the situation. But, being such a big business figure like that, the guy didn't have to stop to take any selfie if he didn't want to, but he decided to. So that says a lot about it different ways. So I was actually, that's a selfie I got to remember for sure.
That's good.
That's
You
a pretty
got
big selfie,
Yeah, you could actually frame that. I mean, you got a selfie with one of the executives in WWE TKO. Like that's a huge one, and I'm really happy. Nick Khan is very approachable. He does seem very smart, even though there have been some hiccups. But they're growing, they're going global, they're trying to do all the things. But congratulations to Nick Khan on this milestone. Now, we were talking about WWE TKO. We do have to talk about what happened on SmackDown. That happened tonight, the night before Wrestlepalooza. First one they're doing in conjoint with ESPN. It's just been a buzz all this week with all the media that's been happening on ESPN, from Get Up to First Take to Sports Center, everywhere. But, SmackDown kicked off because we were supposed to have Michael Cole interview Brock Lesnar, but unfortunately Brock Lesnar had other things. We thought he was going to attack Michael Cole, but unfortunately Corey Graves paid the price, and Michael Cole was a bit shooken up by it. And we saw this other photo. That other photo, Brock Lesnar, Paul Heyman, and pretty much saying, we need to talk.
So I have a few words. Granted, both of these pictures are very important. However, there is one picture that is missing, and I'm going to talk about it. The elephant in the room. Corey Graves was the one who ran in to the ring to stop Brock Lesnar from further assaulting Michael Cole. And once I saw him get in that ring, I couldn't help but wonder, and took 2 F5s. I mean, I'm just going to point that out, that picture is very important as well. Take what you will with it for now. But those of you who know where I could be going with that. That's a very big statement for Corey to be taking a bump. 2 of them. That's all I'm going to say about that. In regards to the picture, as far as Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman, could we be possibly, and I'm gonna pose a question to the chat and to you, Courtney, also, because I'm curious, because this is what I initially thought when I saw this interaction. First of all, I was expecting Paul Heyman to arrive at Wrestlepalooza. I thought that he was probably going to cause some shenanigans to ensue between the tag team match with the Usos and the Braun Brawns. But Brock Lesnar approached Paul Heyman in a non-confrontational manner, which we haven't seen in quite some time, and says we should talk. And I believe this could possibly mean that there's something that very important that Brock Lesnar needs to do. I think that we are going to be on our way to seeing a Brock Lesnar riding off in the sunset, and would need Paul Heyman, his advocate, one final time. I'm just going to throw that out there now, because I feel like the last match with Cena at Wrestlepalooza is just the kickstart of that, because both of them have started at the same time, as we've seen on their journey that they've been showing through the vignettes on SmackDown, and they showed it on that Wrestlepalooza special that premiered earlier today with Peter Rosenberg, what's his face from the Pacers, and Big E.
Tyler Hundenberg, Honeybee.
The halibut,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm a New York Knicks fan anyway, so it doesn't
Yeah.
matter. But in regards to this interaction, I can't help but wonder if that was possibly the interaction and the thing that Brock Lesnar will want to talk to Paul Heyman about.
That's interesting. And thank you, Boza, for that. Tyrese Halliburton. I had to figure that out. That's actually very interesting with the fact SummerSlam will be in Minneapolis next year in August. And that's where Brock is from. And that would be very interesting to do. Now, it's really interesting because after his match with John, even if he wants to advocate for Paul Heyman, who would be his next victim? Like, who would be the one that Brock would need to face? Because obviously there's unanswered questions, obviously, with Corey. Or would he, I don't know. I don't even know. Could it be, I know Seth and CM Punk have a beef, but honey, you raise your hand.
I'm waving because I'm very excited about my answer. And I couldn't help but notice that, with a lot of things in wrestling, a lot of things is like foreshadowing. They like to foreshadow a lot of things with very tiny messages or, little actions, or with a certain slogan that somebody says that someone might, that might insinuate someone returning. I couldn't help but wonder as well, Brock Lesnar destroying that Prime station was absolutely lovely. And I couldn't help but wonder that maybe, just maybe, the next possible victim could be a certain Logan Paul. And I would love to see him get tossed around just like that Prime station.
I would not be mad at that. And plus,
I don't think anybody would.
We haven't seen Logan Paul in a while after Paris.
We have not. And also the thing about it is too, there is also a little factor of reality. And I must go the reality route because, of course, that is what I would love. That's how I would write it, at least anyway. But there is Sami Zayn.
Mm-hmm.
Because John Cena and Sami Zayn were having a hell of a match for the United States title. It was open challenge for Cena's last night on SmackDown. And Brock Lesnar completely destroyed that match. Nobody won. And he did F5 Sami Zayn as well. So maybe Sami could have a hand in it. I don't know. But, of course, the fantasy pick is Logan Paul.
Fantasy pick is Logan Paul. And it's funny you mentioned Sami Zayn, because I tried to find a photo of their match. There was a good match between him versus Carmelo Hayes. And we saw the Miz guest commentary throughout the whole night of SmackDown. Obviously, we know he was cheering on for Carmelo Hayes. Sammy and Carmelo both delivered a really good match. I was kind of chuckling at the Miz trying to cheer for him because I was like a little bit nervous. I was like, is he going to screw Carmelo? Is he not? I'm like, what's going on here?
The honeypot household thought the exact same thing. We really did.
But yeah, they really delivered a match between Carmelo Hayes and Sami Zayn. And I feel like it won't be the last time we see these two, but I feel like there is going to be a lot more developing in there. We also got to see the ladies in action. We got to see the women's tag team titles, Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair taking on Chelsea Green. And I had to point this out because she was in green and it made me think of Shigo from Kim Possible. So shout outs to that inspiration and Alba Fire. And it was a really good tag team match between both of these ladies. And like I said, the Miz was very interested like throughout the whole night, especially in the women's match. So we got to see these two ladies in action.
And not only do we love tag team wrestling, Courtney, we love women's tag team wrestling as well.
Yes, we do. We do love it. And congratulations to these two. They are still your tag team champions and they're just getting started and just seeing who is next. But also it's interesting you talk about tag teams because backstage, we obviously know B-Fab and Michin. They still have to get their hands on Kiana James and Julia. But however, we saw the Street Profits in a backstage segment and we saw Angelo Dawkins with Uncle Howdy Bo Dallas. Honey, you are the advocate for the Wyatt Six or Uncle Howdy. What are your thoughts in this segment, and also leading to next, because we did see also Montez Ford and Angelo get ambushed by the members of the Wyatt Six.
We sure did. And I can't help but, of course, being a resident of Wyatt Six City for so long, I can't help but agree with Bo Dallas, Uncle Howdy, whatever you want to call him. In this case, I'm calling him Taylor. But I feel like that he has a point. He raises a very good point. They were literally about to be in communication, and pretty much Montez did squash anything that Dawkins really wanted to say. And I think, Bo would know a thing or two about brotherhood and keeping together and family as such. I'm really hoping that we don't see the Street Profits crumble. I really do hope, like B-Fab believes, that they can bounce back from this. But like I said, with as powerful as Uncle Howdy is now, and the fact that they run the tag team division, it seems like all of these tag teams are imploding from the inside. Every time they deal with the Wyatts, it seems to help them show them and who they really are.
It's interesting because a lot of times you have to see the test. You have to see the test, and plus, we know the Street Profits are beloved by the fans. They've been together for so long. They're trying to have that brotherhood. But this is going to be a test because obviously there's going to be mind game to this, but also getting through. And I know B-Fab, she had to get a little pep talk with the guys before she had to take care of her business. But I feel like there's a lot of interesting story to tell. I know people have been dodgy with the fact, are they going to break up? Are they going to go solo tours? Also, you have to really think about the void, like what tag team in SmackDown is going to really fill that. Obviously, we did see Fraxium take on the Braun Brawns tonight on SmackDown, so that could be another one. You just have to really think like who is going to be the tag team to really go step up to the plate, but also take the belts from the Wyatt Six. Not now, but like somewhere in the crystal ball future.
Are you insinuating that Fraxium dethroned my Wyatt Six?
Well, no, not Fraxium, but I'm trying to think of other tag teams because obviously you have to let it make sense. I mean, there's Fraxium, there's DIY. We haven't seen Pretty Deadly in God knows how long.
First of all, I will shout out Fraxium because not for nothing, somebody check on Axiom because he took a hell of a bump when he dove outside, almost landed on his head, practically did from my viewing. But that match was top notch, man. That they need to keep bringing that. They really do.
Yeah, and I'm really happy they are incorporating like some main storylines in the tag team division. That makes me really happy to see because gotta show love to the tag team division. I'm happy they are getting their shine too. We also got to see, Miss Tiffany Stratton, the women's champion. And also, I have to say, Nia Jax was very good at mimicking. It's Tiffy time. It's Tiffy time. It's Tiffy time.
That was kind of funny. I was like, oh my God, Nia. Oh my God.
It was just so funny. The way she said Tiffy time. It was just too cute.
But the build up for this match is pretty crazy though, because
you're on mute.
My freaking mic keeps doing that. But with Jade and Tiffy and also Nia Jax all in there in the same ring for one match, this is going to be pretty good. I think it's going to be a good match, a solid match between these ladies.
Oh yeah, it's definitely going to be
blood
solid.
developing.
Oh yeah, all three of them are going to definitely be developing, and especially we found out courtesy of Nick Aldis because I feel like he needs a drink after tonight. We now know next Friday it will be a triple threat match for the women's championship match. And I didn't get a photo because SmackDown ended so soon. We also saw what ended SmackDown, and we now know it's going to be the main event for tomorrow. Cody Rhodes versus Drew McIntyre. They had the contract signing, and it's interesting. Cody said because the city they were in was in the same place. Him and Drew were tag team champions.
That's a pretty wow.
Yes. And that's what he said on the mic, and I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. That's really interesting. But honey, I just want to get your really thoughts on this, and what do you think that while we are going to talk about bowl predictions shortly when it comes to Wrestlepalooza, but just wanted to get your thoughts on the contract signing, and also does it make Drew McIntyre a stronger contender for Cody's title?
Absolutely. I believe that Drew has always been a strong contender for any title, especially the main card title. You know, he's proved himself time and time again that he's willing to um overcome the odds, and he's, you know, gained the favor of the fans even while being a heel, or, you know, a tween, or whatever you want to call it. But we all know contract signings don't end well. You know, that table's getting flipped over, somebody's getting put through it, there's a brawl breaking out. And it looks like that Adam Pearce isn't the only GM that can't gain control with these people, with their superstars on the roster. But Cody Rhodes doing that dive in a suit, pretty clean. Pretty clean.
It was very pretty clean. I will say,
Yeah,
they work
that was
so
cool.
well. They work very well together, and I'm
Yeah,
happy.
they do.
Drew is pretty much a strong contender for anything, and I'm very
Yes.
happy him and Cody are definitely gonna have that match. I really want to see, like, definitely the match, like, give him as much time as they need to make sure, because if you're closing up the show, especially since you're on ESPN and everybody's watching, so that's also another layer too. We get to see that, and also another thing that happened on SmackDown, we got to see R-Truth explaining how you could get Wrestlepalooza on ESPN, which I thought was very cute and informative.
Go ahead, Ron Cena, do your thing. Do your thing. Like, you know, anything that Ron Killens, R-Truth, Ron Cena, whatever you want to call him, either way, he's all three. Like, he's comedy gold. No matter what, he's our favorite WWE treasure, and we need to protect that at all costs. And he's doing just that. Even doing it with the neck brace after getting F5 last week, it's just hysterical. And you know, he can never do no wrong. I don't know how anybody doesn't burst out into tears or laughter, like, to hold it in front of the camera. It's got to be so difficult when you're around that man. But shout out. I love it. I love it.
Shout out. And of course, our mayor chimed in. Well, we're going to get into ball predictions shortly, said, because like you said, McIntyre tells his soul at Wrestlepalooza. But we'll get into that because that's really interesting. But we do have one more news before we get into ball predictions, because it's a big, big show. If you're a fan of First Take, because we were talking about Wrestlepalooza, Stephen A. Smith on First Take, and Dion's gonna love this. He listed his top 5 favorite wrestlers, and it is on Twitter. So, number 5, he started off with the Road Warriors, which seemed fair, followed by The Rock at number 4, Hulk Hogan number 3, Ric Flair number 2, and Dion will love this one. Number 1 is none other than Bill Goldberg.
You gotta be kidding me, man. Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith. I bought your book. I read it. It's a brilliant book. I've always been a viewer of First Take in the morning. I've always been a fan. But damn it, when was the last time you saw wrestling, Stephen A? When was the last time that you've actually paid attention to the roster? Steve, all time, the fact that guys like Shawn Michaels or Undertaker or even John Cena or Roman Reigns himself, like Bret the Hart. Tribal Chief, Bret Hart. Yeah, and you
Owen
can imagine like all this, any superstar, anybody, Macho Man, Ultimate War, like any, you know what I mean? But that is quite an interesting list. That's quite an interesting list. Steven.
It's a good thing. That's why I said it's a good thing Dion's not here, because he would probably be more excited.
Cindy, I believe that. I actually believe this. Dion was the ghostwriter of this list. He had to. And because you know what? No one asked for this. But this is Stephen A's list. That's his opinion, and he's entitled to it. But I mean, I entirely agree with that.
I mean, like I said, he's entitled to his opinion. I mean, I have a lot of things to say about him, but stick to basketball. Just stick to basketball.
Yeah, man. Just
stick.
Man. That's what you're good at. You literally had the Tribal Chief on your show. How is he not on that list?
You had him and Seth.
How do you not have someone like Andre the Giant even, or like you know what I mean? I would have understood that. You know, I'm not saying that none of those superstars don't deserve to be on that list. That's your list. You know what I mean? Everybody has their own list, and we've discussed this many times on the show. We've had many Mount Rushmore debates. Who's the greatest of this and that? but that's your opinion and you're entitled to. But damn it,
You didn't even include Austin on that list.
Stone Cold Steve Austin. Are you kidding me, dude? Oh, Steven.
Stick to basketball. Just stick to basketball. You're good at You're good at covering basketball. NBA season's coming.
It's entertaining, I'll tell you that. And Triple H had a point about that list, by the way.
Yeah, Triple H was not happy about that. He was kind of...
He knew to piss people off, and it worked. It worked.
Since we've been talking about ESPN and First Take and everything else, we're just going to get right into bold predictions. I mean, we obviously know this is going to kick off the show. John Cena, Brock Lesnar, one-on-one.
One last time.
Yeah. Final time.
Mm-hmm. This is going to be crazy. Obviously after the build up for tonight, and obviously because it sucks because you show up when on SmackDown where Cena isn't doing SmackDown anymore, damn it. But either way, I believe Cena can come out on top. I believe he can beat Brock Lesnar in this case. I think Brock is biting off more than he can chew a bit, and Cena's just going to give him a slice of humble pie.
It's very interesting because right before SmackDown was over, they did show the montage of the history between Cena and Lesnar for the last 2 weeks, and it was narrated by Joe Tessitore, which he did very well, and it kind of took you back to a trip down memory lane on when they first started on SmackDown in 2002, 2003. Then you shifted over to 2012 when they faced off, and then you shift again to 2014. And it felt weird because when Lesnar was intimidating Michael Cole, I was just like, wow, Cena's not on SmackDown anymore, because Michael Cole's called a lot of John Cena matches from their humble beginnings in the Blue brand. So this will be very interesting. But I am going to pick John Cena for the win. I do think John will probably find out a win. I'm not going to underestimate him. He is a tough cookie. I know people will say Lesnar, but John's got some fighting spirit in him. He can throw a punch. He can throw anything else. So I would not sleep on John for that.
Ooh, Cena doing an F5 on Lesnar. That's pretty crazy work right there.
Dylan, to be fair, I love all of wrestling. And I'm going to watch Wrestlepalooza after that.
Damn, Dylan.
I mean, look, I'm a fan of all wrestling. I don't pick any brands. I love all types of wrestling.
Yes, we do love all wrestling here.
We do love all wrestling.
There's just some we watch more than others, and that's okay too. That's it.
I mean, that's okay.
But
you watch whatever you want.
Yeah, John. But Brock Lesnar's apparently coming for blood, so I don't know. I still don't know what to expect from this match, but it's gonna be good, and and very smart of them to put it at the beginning so people could really purchase that app.
Yes, so that is really good. We're picking John to win. You can't see me 17-time champion, but we go from that match to a tag team match. The Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed against the Usos. You got?
I said this last night on Kayfabe because we did make some bold predictions on there. I'm going with the Usos because I was very happy to see them say at the very end, welcome to the Uso Penitentiary, because that's exactly what I was expecting, and that's exactly where the Browns need to go. They need to be humbled as well. However, I wouldn't put it past Division to have one up on them or have a trick up their sleeve or a kind of plan to derail the win from the Usos. But I believe in the Usos. Jimmy and Jay work so much better together. And, they're stronger together as always because they've always been a unit all their life. They're twin brothers. They come from the same blood. They're part of a strong bloodline. And you damn sure don't want to disappoint that family.
That is true. They got a big family and happy to see them together as one of the best tag teams, because I know people say the greatest tag team, but I'm like, we need to have a debate on that because the Hardys.
well, we could talk about a Mount Rushmore of tag teams if we
I know we need to do a debate.
Time. I guess needing another debate really soon for WWT.
We need to do one. I'm like, because Hardys, hello. But I'm very happy to see the Usos back. I'm actually going to go the opposite route. I'm going to go Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. I feel like they do need a win, especially as a tag team, because I feel like for them, if they do get a win against former tag team champions, they should at least get an opportunity for tag team gold. And I think it would be great for them to at least make a rampage throughout the tag team division on Raw, since there's not that much tag teams in there. I think it would be good for them to really help build that up in a way, because obviously, of course, we do have American Made, the Creed Brothers, we do have the War Raiders, and obviously we do have the New Day with Xavier and Kofi. So I do think for them, if they do get a win over former tag team champions, it would be a good opportunity to kind of give them a peek and take it to the next level. So I'm taking the Bronze.
Okay. That's fair.
Take it. I always have to bring logic. I don't bring any hot takes like Councilman or said. It's like I have to have some logic behind it. I have to have some logic.
Oh, Lord. I can't. Well, this match, I'm excited for this match. I'm so excited for this match. I think the entire world should be very excited for this match. This match is about to be the battle of the workhorses right here.
Yes.
The only one we're missing is Roxanne Perez, just to throw it in there for shits and giggles, because all three of them deserve that. But this is great. Io Sky versus Stephanie Vaquer. I also said last night, and I'm gonna stick with my word. La primera. I just feel it. Though they did raise a good point last night that what if nobody wins? What if something happens or somebody costs somebody something? Don't have no idea. Anything can happen, but I feel like there has to be a winner. This title's been vacant for a while now. We need to crown a champion, and we need a champion going into War Game season and things like that. And even, Crown Jewel coming up and all this stuff. We got a lot going on that we need to get together, but let's do it. I love you, Io. I love you so much, but let's crown Stephanie. Let's just do it.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a fire match. I'm always excited to see the ladies, and I'm happy they're getting the spotlight they deserve, especially with Stephanie and Io Sky. The last match they had was a banger, but of course it ended in no disqualification. Would not be shocked if it ended the same way it did the first time, but it does need a winner. I love Io Sky. I have enjoyed her since she came into WWE from Damage Control up to being a fan favorite. But I think it's time for Miss Stephanie to get some gold. It's time to get La Primera some gold, and also seeing her in some banger of matches in the future.
Yeah, man. As champion, defending champ every week.
I know.
Just like NXT. Like, might as well, man. Let's just do it.
Might as well give it to her. And then we have, this should have been the main event, but this has been the most anticipated match throughout the whole card that everybody wants to see.
This is not the main event?
No.
I thought it was the main event. I thought it was, oh, well, Cody and Drew is the main event?
Yeah, Cody and Drew.
Well, I guess so, yeah, title. Well, there goes Cody again, ruining timelines. I digress. Go ahead, Courtney. I apologize.
No, that is okay. That is okay. But yes, we thought this was going to be the main event. This should have been the main event because everybody in the world is talking about it. I mean, the visionary, Seth Rollins, the man, Becky Lynch, CM Punk, the best in the world, and my crazy is my superpower, the Black Widow herself, AJ Lee, together again.
Mm-hmm. Can we just give it up for AJ Lee doing her first big PLE in 10 years and practically co-main eventing in this case?
Yes.
That's dope. Battle of the couples, man. We love a good mixed tag. And Councilman and Dion were making some pretty bold statements about what could transpire and AJ Lee possibly getting curb stomped by Seth Rollins. I don't think that's likely to happen. I believe that Becky could be the one to do that, but you never know. You never know what direction they could go. And if you want to talk about making, Phil lose his mind, you put hands on his wife, it's over. In that regard, and Seth will probably not live to see the light of day going in the future, and they better run. But I'm going with oh, you know what's so funny about this match? I don't even remember who I picked last night. That's the crazy part. But I've gone back and forth about this match. It's got to be. I guess in this case, it's got to be Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch. Because you have to continue the beef, and you're going to have to build it up for Becky and AJ one-on-one, and you find a way to continue CM Punk and Seth going forward, because that rivalry is never going to end. You're going to need they probably have something up their sleeve as well. They're going to need something. But I wouldn't put it past CM Punk and AJ Lee for the win.
That's who you're picking, Punk and AJ Lee.
Well, I'm actually I don't know if I picked Punk and AJ Lee last night, but if I did, I might. If I did, I'm revoking it to Becky and
okay,
Rollins. Yeah.
All right. Okay. So, do not be shocked if you see intergender spots in between, because I'm just saying it's a mixed tag team match. But we have seen a little bits of moments of intergenders, like you and I have watched it in the past. And we've seen where Trish was in it, Lita was in it, Victoria was in it, Jazz was in it. They did not care. They took a bump or whatever. So
even Mae Young was in it.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
And Stacy Keibler and Tori Wilson went through tables, by the way. So I would not put it past them if they had some intergender spots in there, because I know what you're saying, Moza. It's a mixed tag team match, but do not be surprised if they did snuck it past ESPN. But for this one,
that's what Dion and Will were saying last night.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna choose CM Punk, and also my Jersey girl, AJ Lee. CM Punk and AJ Lee. I'm gonna pick them for the win. They got the win, and then we have the main event. Cody Rhodes, Drew McIntyre.
So now this makes this 5 matches, right? Pretty much.
Yes.
All right. Well, I mean, there would have to be a plot twist to this match if they're gonna have Cody lose to Drew, but I don't know if I see that happening. With everything that Drew was saying about Cody, it could possibly backfire on him, with him being on the marquee, him being the face of the company, him carrying the company, and him doing all these shows, him having his podcast and things like that. Like, he's on such a roll, like it'd be silly to pretty much stop that. But Drew's going to take a loss. I'm not sure exactly how. We also can't forget about guys like, Randy Orton floating around, still having to get one up on Drew. Maybe he could be the one that costs him. Maybe he'll punt Drew. Maybe we'll actually see Randy Orton punt on ESPN. So, but Cody Rhodes for the win.
Wouldn't put it past that. Drew has been on a high as a heel. He does so much good heel work. It's pretty good to watch, and I wouldn't mind seeing him champion again. Obviously, as you mentioned, Cody has been on a roll. I mean, he's been champion. He has his podcast. He just finished wrapping up a movie. So he's like really doing all these things. I just don't want the gas pedal to stop yet. I do think there is a lot for Cody to do in his second reign with opponents. I'm going to pick Cody to retain. I do think there is a lot. I think there is going to be a lot of story between these two after Wrestlepalooza. And then you got to throw, as you mentioned, Randy in it, because he was this close on punting somebody in the head. It's just like he's one step closer into turning heel again.
That's true. You raise a very good point there.
He's one step closer. It's just he has to be very sneaky on it. But those were our bold predictions for Wrestlepalooza happening tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern time. I think we're having a watch along tomorrow. I don't know who's handling that watch along tomorrow, but I don't know who's going to handle it tomorrow. But I think we do have something set up. I don't know. But as R-Truth said, you can watch it through the ESPN app. That is happening. Yeah, I put the plug in for the ESPN app. You can watch it through there. It's going to be the first conjoined pay-per-view. But before we even get into bold predictions for the next PLE, we do want to talk about a project that is bubbling up in women's wrestling talk. It's the archive that is happening, and it talks about women's history. So feel free to take a look, and every support counts on this.
Women's wrestling didn't just show up yesterday in glitter boots. We've been here the entire time, body slamming through history.
The Women's Wrestling Archive launches January 1st, 2026, and it's gonna pave the way for all women's wrestling.
Because if we don't document it, a man might say he did it first.
This has been a passion project for a very long time. Head over to the womenswrestlingarchive.com to donate 1, 5, or whatever you can. It all goes a long way.
Let's give these women the spotlight that they've always deserved.
Her story belongs in history. Help us preserve it today. Join us at womenswrestlingarchive.com. Support the archive. Support women's wrestling. Donate today.
Every support helps in keeping women's wrestling alive and well. So shout outs to all of that. And yeah, we're just going to shift over from Wrestlepalooza to All Out Toronto, happening tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern time on HBO Max. It will be streaming on HBO Max for the first time, streaming on Amazon Prime, obviously on pay-per-view. As confirmed from the media call that Tony Khan hosted on Thursday, this match will kick off AEW All Out Toronto. I'm still going to call them Edge and Christian. I still think of them as Edge and Christian against FTR. Honey, who you got in this match?
I mean, I'm a millennial, and you know, I'm an attitude era girl. You know, I'm a TLC advocate. I'm a ladder match advocate. I gotta go with Edge and Christian, and I will call them Edge and Christian still. I can't call Edge Cope. I can't do it.
It's just very hard because when I did watch those, I'm like, no, screw it. I don't care if anybody corrects me. I'm picking them as Edge and Christian. I'm picking Edge and Christian. I do think it would be great to see them. I do think this is
Cindy's comment. Yeah, that would be great. If they come out with sunglasses, that would be even better. For a 5-second pose.
That would be so crazy if they did that. And Toronto,
they totally reek of awesomeness.
Oh my goodness. They would reek of awesomeness. 5-second pose on the photograph. 5-second pose. But I'm picking an Edge and Christian. I do think they are going to pick up a win. And plus, I love the mean mugging that they do together. If you saw the photo of Forbidden Door that I posted, they were just mean mugging with each other. So you could tell they have connected so well, even with friends and everything else. Obviously, I just want to see that little Weasel Stokely. You could do whatever we want with him. I don't care. But I'm picking Edge and Christian. It's definitely going to be a banger of a match. We also got the return of Eddie Kingston, and he will be facing off against Big Bill. 2 guys from New York, one from Queens and one from Yonkers.
Yeah, man. I got you. If you're bringing back Eddie Kingston on his return, I don't know if he should be defeated, man. And Big Bill's a big problem, but I'm going with Eddie Kingston. You know, I respect both boys from New York, but I gotta go with Eddie.
I have to say the same thing. I can't see Eddie Kingston losing. I do see him winning, but also I do see him handling unfinished business with not just Gabe Kidd, but he also has some unfinished business with the Death Rider since he knows Moxley very, very well. So I'm picking Eddie Kingston to pick up the win. We also have this match, Mark Briscoe taking on MJF in a tables and tax match. And this was a stipulation Mark Briscoe picked.
This is a pretty wild stipulation. Tables and tacks. Oh my. I mean, obviously, this is definitely in Mark Briscoe's lane. However, I'm not sure what the storyline has been with them, or who's had the upper hand on who the last time. But MJF, I mean, I've always never wanted to be one to bet against MJF because he could easily take any win. But this is Mark Briscoe's kind of lane, and I feel like that's a very big disadvantage for MJF. So I'm gonna go with Mark Briscoe.
It's very interesting because these two have been going at it for the last couple months, and then on top of that, and also, folks, the event at CMLL is happening right now, and MJF has a match against Mystico in a mask versus hair match. If MJF loses, he has to get his head shaved, which I thought that would be pretty funny if he's bald tomorrow. But who might have shaved? Yeah.
I don't know if I want to see that.
I don't know if I want to, but yeah, he's defending
all the way wrong.
He's defending the CMLL World Heavyweight Championship tonight. Yep, Boza, the light heavyweight championship against Mystico. These two, trust me, they've been going at it for a while, and there's been a lot of bad blood with these two. I'm very happy Mark Briscoe is getting opportunity in the singles run. I'm happy he is getting opportunity to compete in a storyline with one of the top guys, MJF. And MJF and both Mark Briscoe have talked about working with each other, so that's also good as well. I am going to post my bold predictions tomorrow. I did pick MJF, but I wouldn't mind seeing Mark Briscoe win. But I am picking MJF in this match.
Nice.
So it's just pretty much, yeah, I'm going to pick that little jerk. He's going to win. Because, hold on, I want to make sure. All right, so we have the ladies in action. Fatal 4-way match for the AEW Women's World Championship match. We have the Toxic Spider Tekla, Chris Statlander, and two of my ladies in the same match, Jamie Hayter, Timeless Tony Storm. Honey, who you got winning in this match?
I'm never going to bet against the Timeless one. Never doing it. Never doing it. Especially the way she continually creates content that's continuously worthy of talking about, you know what I mean, and making a talking point. For me, especially with the recent years, or well, since she's arrived in AEW, she's been such a great pinnacle for their women's division, and she just continues to just break the mold and continuously say the most outlandish shit that I've ever heard. And you know, say it very poetically and just come out very eloquently about it. And she's a mix of that old school and this generation, and it just fits so perfectly. So I mean, all the girls are worthy contenders, because the brawl that happened with Tekla this past week was absolutely nuts. But I believe that Tony will always overcome the odds, and she will always find a way out. She's definitely going to retain that title.
It's always hard to say, because I had the chance to meet Tekla at WrestleCon this past summer, and she's super nice in person. She's super upfront, super cool, super chill. I'm very happy Chris Statlander has an opportunity for the first time in 4 years. Yes, this belt. I was very happy to see that. I do think there is a lot of storyline with the Death Riders. I don't know what's going on with there. I would not be shocked if she did join up with them, but do not be shocked if that.
That's an interesting mix-up right there.
Yeah, don't be shocked if that little right wheeler Yuta comes in. That's all I have to say. But yeah, two of my ladies in this match, Jamie Hayter, Timeless Tony Storm. But I am picking Tony to retain. I think there's a lot of story to tell with Jamie Hayter and Tony Storm, because people because people do not know this. They have an unorthodox rivalry. And when Tony won the belt 3 years ago, Jamie was on the shelf. I think there's a lot of storytelling that they could play on leading up to All in Wembley Stadium with the fact Jamie's from the UK. She has not wrestled at a Wembley Stadium. And also they could tease like the unfinished business with between them. So look for her a Timeless Elite Wednesday if both. Well, I'm picking Toni Storm. But I want her and Jamie to continue this story. I think they do have potential in making a really cool rivalry. Also, with the fact too, I do think they could amp up Jamie Hayter's gimmick because it does remind me a little bit of Jim Morrison in the Doors. If they can take that inspiration and just kind of flip it a little bit, I feel like Jamie could really
make it a little darker.
Yeah, make it like a little darker.
Right now, the look is giving Daphne from Scooby Doo.
I know. It's like if you could use like a Jim
Austin Powers when he went back to the 60s.
If you could give like a Jim Morrison type of feel on the Doors, and that would be pretty epic.
I like the way you think. Jim Morrison is a great wrestler.
Oh my god, it just makes me think of that. Just give me something. But I'm picking my lady, Toni Storm. I do think there's a lot to tell, and I feel like all 4 of these ladies are going to show up in a banger of a match. And that's not the only match we're going to have. We're going to have the TBS Championship match, the returning Rio in her first pay-per-view match for over a year against the reigning champion Mercedes Moné.
I'm picking her.
I'm pretty sure Dylan, he picks.
I'm picking her. We know who her is. We picking her.
I think if Ced was here, he probably would say Mercedes Moné. I love Rio.
When you say his name, because he might have.
I know, exactly. For me, like I said, I can't see her losing because she's almost this close on beating Jade's record. She's almost that close. I just can't see her losing right before that. Now, once she breaks Jade's record, she could drop the belt. But I do believe Alex Windsor is going to be the one to dethrone her. Obviously, we know Will Ospreay had successful surgery this past week, so we should see her back on television soon. And I do think it would be great to really give her a character development. I do think there's a lot of storytelling between Alex and Mercedes, and also really convincing people that Alex can be the one to be TBS champion. So we shall see on that. But I'm picking Mercedes Moné to retain the TBS title because, like I said, she needs to beat Jade's record.
I feel like she's earned that right to do so.
Yes, absolutely. So she's almost there. And okay, we have this 3-way match for the AEW Unified Championship match. We have Konosuke Takeshita, Kazuchika Okada, Mascara Dorada. And I will put that in there. Two of these people are in the Don Callis family, by the way.
That's so strange to me. I don't know. I mean, I feel like Kazuchika Okada could keep it on some shenanigans because he's always on that bullshit.
Really? Yeah, I'm picking Okada to win. I'm picking Okada to retain because I need him and Takeshita one-on-one.
Yeah.
And Takeshita...
I feel like that would be better because then I would probably feel otherwise.
Yeah, I'm doing that because I do believe Takeshita is going to be the person. Because remember, Okada has not been pinned since he's been at AEW. He has not had a single clean pin. So I would like for Takeshita to be the one to give him his loss, but it has to be one-on-one. But it's going to be a good match. I do think that all 3 of them are going to have a very, very good match. So we also have this trios match. Ricochet and the Gates of Agony taking on the Hurt Syndicate.
Who are these guys with Ricochet? He got a crew now?
Yeah, he got a crew. He got an actual crew.
Wow. My goodness.
That's growth. That's growth right there.
Talk about it. And honestly, from denying the Hurt Syndicate a while back to now this, like you've gone and done your own thing. Look at you. But I mean, I don't know, man. Hurt Syndicate, you got a bunch of veterans. And sometimes you got to humble these youngins. So I'm going with the Hurt Syndicate.
It's going to be nice because MVP will be back in the ring. tomorrow, and I think this is definitely going to be a good match. I would like to see this match help solidify the Gates of Agony as contenders for the tag team titles in the future, and also with Ricochet as well. But I am going to pick the Hurt Syndicate.
Indeed.
Yes, indeed.
Picking the Almighty and Shelton and MVP.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with Shelton. You can't go wrong with all three of them. But we have the AEW World Tag Team titles in a 4-way ladder match. We got Brodino, the reigning tag team champions, against Jet Speed, Hechicero, Josh Alexander, and you have the Young Bucks.
I don't know about all these other groups, and I don't want to pick Young Bucks because I can't stand them. So I'm just going to say Brodino to retain.
I actually do love Speedball and Kevin Knight. They've been a fun tag team to watch. Obviously, we're going to hear from that creep Don Callis because a few members from his family are in action tonight. But I am going to pick Brodino. They have a busy week because they are defending the tag team titles tonight, and they have to compete tomorrow. So they got a busy weekend. I'm picking them to retain. I just don't want to see them be transitional champions. I want to see where this is going to go in their reign. And plus, Brodino's fun to watch. I actually love him. And I don't care what anybody says because he can give Al Grande a run for his money.
She said what she said.
He can. I mean, he was really funny when I was at that media scrum. He had a personality and he was funny. I'm just saying. And he's likable. People like him. We also have, hold on. Oh, and this match right here, we have a coffin match. Jon Moxley, Darby Allin, finally go 1-on-1.
Coffin match. I mean, this match is obviously going to be brutal, right? Like, this match is going to be death match style with coffins as well. Like, the coffin match belongs to Darby Allin. I mean, somebody would have to. I feel like Darby Allin has the ability to put Moxley in his place.
Well, I would love for Darby to win. This is going to be probably 4 or 5-on-1. Do not be shocked if any members from the Death Riders come in and take out Darby, because Darby's going to need some help from friends. I would not be shocked if Eddie Kingston tried to get involved, or Samoa Joe and Powerhouse Hobbs, because they still got some beef with the Death Riders. Do not be shocked if Willow gets involved, because I do want to see her versus Marina Shafir. But, and I had a theory on this in my watch along on Wednesday, because he had an interview with Bryan Danielson. He promised Bryan Danielson he was not going to interfere in that match.
Oh, that's right. He did say
Do you really think Bryan Danielson is really going to just sit back and just watch this massacre?
Bryan Danielson, we call bullshit. Just saying.
That is crazy. And also with the fact, too, because it dawned on me, because now you have Daniel Garcia, and this is going to be crazy. I'm not blowing any smoke, but if you give me Nigel McGuinness, Bryan Danielson together, because they both have some issues, not just with the Death Riders, but also Nigel was confused because Daniel Garcia was in his corner at Forbidden Door. If you give me Nigel McGuinness and Bryan Danielson in a tag team against the Death Riders, praise the gods.
Now you're taking it to a whole nother level of nostalgia now.
And also with the fact, too, they are enemies. The enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Oh, great quote.
So, and also we get to see the return, hopefully, of my main squeeze, freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy, because he still has issues with the Death Riders. So,
yeah, I definitely could be on board with that. But with it being that the case, who do you still pick for them to win though?
I picked Darby Allin. I picked Darby to win. I can't see him losing in this type of match.
Yeah,
but I do suspect a lot of chaos during and after.
A lot of chaos, a lot of blood.
Lots. And supposedly, I'm hoping this is the main event. Hangman Adam Page taking on Kyle Fletcher for the AEW World Tag Team. Oh God, Tag Team. AEW World Championship match.
Oof. I know these two had a heated interaction this past week. I saw some clips on socials from AEW, but I do like I really do enjoy Kyle Fletcher, and I have enjoyed his growth. I did get a chance to see him last year in Ring. Was it Ring of Honor? Yeah, it was when we went to Ring of Honor, or not last year, the year before, for WrestleMania 40 weekend, and he was very impressive then, and I still felt like there was more that he needed to do to grow into the character that, or to the superstar he needs to be, and it's definitely he's definitely grown since then, since I've seen him. And considering the interaction that they both had this past week, I feel like Kyle Fletcher has a lot more to prove than Hangman. So I think it would be pretty crazy to make Kyle Fletcher hold 2 titles for the win. So I'm gonna go with Kyle Fletcher just for shits and giggles.
Kyle has definitely shown a lot of growth since he's been, even before he won for TNT champion. He has shown a lot of growth and knows that he can take it to the next level. Especially, this is a good opportunity for him because some of your top tier guys are going to be out for a while. Ospreay's going to be out. Swerve's going to be out. Kenny Omega is taking a break. So this is a really good opportunity for some guys to really step up to the plate and be single stars and lead it to the next level. Obviously, we're seeing with Daniel Garcia being with Jon Moxley, who's been in AEW for the beginning. We're now, as I mentioned earlier, we are seeing Mark Briscoe be in a singles run and really trying to catapult himself as one of the top baby faces. Obviously, of course, we should get Orange Cassidy back soon, along with Jay White. And also, we do have Eddie Kingston, if you throw him into the fray on being singles guys. And regardless of what happens, I do think this is really will help Kyle Fletcher be a top player for AEW in the future. I'm very happy to see him come a long way, but I gotta go with Hangman Adam Page for the win.
After all of that, damn, Courtney.
I know. I know. It's like I gave so much to praise to Kyle, but it's like not yet. I do see him as champion in the future, but I gotta stick with Hangman. Because I feel like Hangman has some story to tell, not just with Kyle Fletcher, but also with the Don Callis family. Then you also have to think about when Ospreay comes back with Hangman.
But I personally believe that Kyle Fletcher would need this win a lot more, only because to beat someone of Hangman Adam Page's stature in AEW, considering how long he's been there with them, that's pretty big for Kyle Fletcher. It's a pretty big notch on his belt to have.
Yeah, it really is. And I'm really looking forward to this match as well. They're definitely going to do it. And Dylan, I'm ignoring your comment. Like, really? Just putting a real Australian. Oh, jeez. I can't. I don't know. Yeah, I just can't anymore. But that pretty much wraps up our bold predictions for Wrestlepalooza and All Out Toronto. There will be
a pretty strong card to go against Wrestlepalooza, being that
it is
matches. That's pretty crazy.
But people are still gonna watch Wrestlepalooza. I mean, I'm still gonna watch it after all.
No, I'm still gonna watch it too, but I just wonder like what else they're gonna do like in between the matches. Like, is there gonna be any like mini segments? Is there gonna be any like people, like anybody coming out? Because they did say there's supposed to be surprises and stuff like that. So maybe there's gonna be some filler things going on in between the matches.
We shall see. Like I said, I don't know if we're gonna do a watch on for Wrestlepalooza. I know for a fact we are going to do a watch along for All Out Toronto because you get to hang with me in the early afternoon. It will be fun. It will be a lot of chaos and mayhem from Canada. So you get to spend it with me in the early afternoon before Wrestlepalooza. And before we get out of here, obviously, we know you guys got to get some coffee ahead of tomorrow's big day event with the two major PLEs. You need a coffee that won't powerbomb your sleep schedule. Savorista's got you. It's premium cap craft decaf and a half cap coffee. Bold flavors, no jitters. Made from high altitude Arcbia beans. naturally decaffeinated with no harsh chemicals, bourbon pecan decaf, minted mocha. That does sound good. And you can use the exclusive code for 25% off at savorista.com. Use 691793. Again, the code is 691793, and you could get yourself a coffee from savorista.com. And what better way to do that than just to kick off your weekend?
Indeed. Well done, Courtney.
Yes. Gotta plug in the coffee, because we gotta pay some bills, and hopefully we can get Mr. NXT his watch along again. He can do weekly watch alongs. But we gotta pay.
Well, but it's okay. He did a post show.
Well, he did do a post show, but he wants to get back on weekly. He wants to get back on his weekly. So we're trying to do that. But yeah, that wraps up our edition of WWT Live. I know after this we're supposed to do After Dark. I don't know what we're gonna say. I don't know what we're gonna do, but this wraps up WWT Live. And honey, where can the people find you?
Everybody can find me here Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays with WWT Live. Find me Thursdays with the Kayfabe podcast, wrestlingwithhoney.com, launching in 2026, and follow the Wrestling with Honey podcast on YouTube as well. That'll be launching in 2026 as well. So, and all the socials. You guys know this. You guys know.
Well, the people can find me chirping sporadically on WWT Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Yeah, Wednesdays, I don't really care if you have to find me or sue me, because it is Timeless Elite Wednesdays with me. And I said this last week, the only way you can get rid of my job, Tony Khan has to hire me. That's the only way I can get my job. Is that it? Because I haven't seen your ass do a watch along. If you want to do a watch along, I mean, hey, I'm just putting out the floor. But you get to spend Timeless Elite Wednesdays with me every Wednesday. You know, tomorrow I'm going to do a watch along for All Out Toronto. So you get to catch all the action with me. You can also follow me on my socials at CourtneyNJ11, where I have content that's happening. I am doing a lot. I just posted yesterday, I'm doing a diaper drive. We're helping diapers in need in the state of New Jersey. So there's a lot more happening with that. Also, there's a lot of content. I will be posting my bold predictions of All Out tomorrow before the watch along as well. Also, make sure to follow ISBW, because they just did an event tonight. We do have a lot of events happening in the fall and holiday season. Next weekend, you'll see us at 90s Wrestling Con next Saturday. It will be a fun time. You get to see stars from the 90s there, such as Terry Reynolds, Val Venus, Steve Blackman, along with many others from the 90s that we all come to know and love. So make sure to stop by our table and say hello, because we will be there. And we don't know who we're going to interview. We don't know. We can interview some stars. We can interview some fans. We don't know, but we are very happy.
Stack list, so we gonna get some content in for sure.
Oh yes, we are definitely. I'm very excited for this. This is going to be a fun time in the 90s, but definitely want to give a shout out to all of you for hanging out with us. I saw what you did there. I saw what you did there.
Hilarious.
As my lawyer, that is hilarious. But we do want to thank everybody for joining with us on this late edition of WWT Live right before Wrestlepalooza and All Out Toronto. Shout out to our producer from the future, Dylan, Roland Byron, Gas Mask. Also, shout out to Papa Honey for popping in, Sindel, Maria. Thank you all for joining with us on this Friday night edition, and we will see you tomorrow on a busy Saturday. And thank you for supporting Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet.
Thanks for joining WWT. Don't forget to like us on all social media platforms at WW Talk Pod. Like and subscribe on all video and audio platforms, like yesterday, my G. And check out our website at www.talkpod.com. Thanks for watching Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet.